DIIV have released their fourth album, Frog in Boiling Water. Yanni,
Callum,
you are the foolish diver amongst us. I mean, and me as well, but more so you. Um,
cannonballs in the deep end.
correct. No cavorting. Um, can I assume that you were not anticipating this album very much, based on the singles?
Were you? No, Yanni, were you
What?
anticipating this album? Were you aware of
Yeah.
its existence?
Yeah.
You know exactly what I mean. Fuck off.
Oh, Christ.
Callum.
F-bomb in the first 50 seconds.
We're about 9,000 watch hours away from monetization. It's fine.
Callum, I will say, going off the fact there were singles being released, I was anticipating this album, yes.
Fair play.
Was I anticipating it to be as shoegazy as it is? Also, yes, because of the singles, really. Is that what I want? After listening to this album in full? Not really.
I don't think...
Not
Sorry to
really.
just jump in front of you here,
Go
but
on.
I've got a fucking hot take here. Boiling water take.
Go on. I'm
I-
anticipating Liam to speak.
Are you anticipated? I don't think there's a place in today's world for shoegaze. Categorically.
Whoa!
Categorically.
Speaking as someone who doesn't really like shoegaze.
Exactly. Because I'm in the modern age. You know, I'm a modern guy. I am a modern man.
I think there is a place for it. I just
There
think it needs to be exciting.
In the bin.
This album is very
Not exciting?
very much not exciting. It all seems to be one speed. There's not really any dynamic changes apart from the odd bit of added distortion. It's all fine. It's nice. I enjoyed my time with it, but probably doesn't do enough to make me want to keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
The first two albums in particular, I never really enjoyed Deceiver as much as I felt like I should. Blankenship is a stonker. Other than that, give or take, to be honest, I'm not really that
I
bothered.
like a couple more songs off of that album. But yeah, the first two for me are also the
Yeah, they are very good, and especially when they played it live, they played it with such ferocity and speed, and I just kind of feel like all of that excitement has kind of dwindled away. Granted, it's a stylistic change within the realms of shoegaze and dream pop, whatever, but kind of feels like they're doing it for the sake of doing it now. I don't know if that's true, but that's how it feels. It just kind of feels like it's there.
It just doesn't feel like it's. I mean, this is going to sound really awful, doesn't it? Really, if any of these people watch the review who made this, but it doesn't seem like there was much of an effort put into it. It seems like it's the bare minimum, and I think that's a problem with shoegaze in general. Really, is like it's difficult to make it seem like a lot of effort's been put in because of the way that it sort of is as a genre. If you kind of catch my drift, Cal, does that make sense to you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do
It's
think
more about like, it's not really about songwriting as such. It's more like, let's get a sound
Mhm.
and just mess with that for 3 minutes plus.
Yeah, and when that sound isn't doing anything in terms of range or real emotion, it does kind of just dwindle over you. Which is a shame.
It's not a shame, mate.
Dive.
It's dive.
Yeah, good one.
And I hate getting dwindled over.
I
Uninvited.
do like the opener in Amber, but I also kind of feel like if that song was fourth, would I like it? You know what I mean? I think I like it because it's the opener to the record, but then it kind of all just does that. Everyone Out is another one I like. It kind of does something different as harmonics on the guitar, and it just kind of feels like an outlier, but in a good way. I can't say I've not enjoyed myself because I like shoegaze. I like style. I like it as a full body of work, but I also don't have the urge to ever put it on because I didn't get much from it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
it seems like the progression throughout the albums has been really well done in terms of like ending up in on this album now from Deceiver especially. Like you can clearly see the trend there, but it just feels like even like some of the slower ones from Ocean, it was just more interesting on that. There's always like bits I go back to, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even notice that layer going on in the background. Whereas this just feels very much like one or two. Well, obviously it's not gonna be just one, but like two guitars doing chords, maybe a riff thrown in there every now and then, and it just a bit like boo, doo, the whole way through. And yes, that was a very Shoegaze impression. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed. I want something different from DIIV, but I appreciate them wanting to move away from the original style, but just do something a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I think you bang on there,
Thanks, son.
Johannes. Liam, I know you're not in any fit state to rate it, but Yanni, do you reckon you could
I
whack
mean,
a
I will.
little stamp on there?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give this a 6.
I would give this a 5
Wow.
because it's bang average.
Can I say?
And like,
Sorry. Cheers.
and from like I said, like I did not like anything. Did not like it, but really so forgettable. So yeah, Liam, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Can I say? As the resident adamant shoegaze denier, it doesn't exist. It's as simple as that. That's the reason I've been so quiet on this video. If anyone's wondering, usually Gabba blah blah blah, is because I didn't listen to the full album because I listened to 4 songs and I kind of knew what was going to happen, and it just isn't. It's not me at all. So why waste my time doing it? What I will say is I do like the sounds. I really do like the sounds that go on. The problem with shoegaze is I never ever am hooked by the song or what's kind of being played. There's never a part that's interesting to me, unless the vocals are interesting. That's the thing that on some tracks we've listened to, which one of you guys have classed as shoegaze, I like. It's typically because the vocals have hooked me more than anything else. But I wanted to ask, it's such a long roundabout question here. I would be interested in maybe listening to some music that sounds like this but has more going on. And to me, the band that comes to mind, and I could be dead wrong here, but the band that I imagine that's the case with is Sonic Youth. And I want to ask if either of you ever listened to Sonic Youth.
I have given them a go. I wouldn't really say that this is. Sonic Youth feels very different. It feels different, but part of the same tree.
Mm-hmm.
Different branch, same tree.
Because as far as I'm aware, like First and More is very all over pedals and I am assuming they were, and from what I understand, they were a band that came before shoegaze that probably influenced in some manners, but clearly not in terms of energy and things like that. From what I've heard of Sonic Youth, some of the songs I've heard, but
there's a bit more punk aesthetic towards the way they do that style.
Mm-hmm. Because I would like to, just flicking back for this album now, I enjoy it for like 20 seconds. I'm like, oh, but we're still on this part. Do you know what I mean? I want the sounds in a completely different setting. And I feel like that would be more interesting for me. Anyway, but that was just a detour, guys.
Well, that's been the review of the album called what, Callum? Because it's escaped me.
Frog in Boiling Water.
It's by DIIV.
Yes.
if you've listened to it, let us know your thoughts down below. Give the video a like, please. That would be so generous of you. Subscribe and ding the bell.
Yes, and leave any shoegaze recommendations that will scratch Liam's itch that he is so eloquently put forward.
I'm so itchy.
Eager to
I'm
be
so
scratched.
itchy. Oh God, scratch me, baby.
Yeah, nice one.
Ah.
Bye.
Bye.